Shit. Are we recording?
We're recording.
Oh, okay. No, we can't talk about this kind of shit. It's too unrecord this shit.
I could cut this piece out.
No. Well, a lot of people are pissed. A lot of people think people are coming over from all over the world and just taking their jobs, dude. Like, that's where all the hate comes in from.
You think that's what it is? Like, you think that's like, I don't know. That feels like such like, to me, that sounds like such like loser talk. You know what I mean?
I feel like...
It's like, are you really competing like for a $15 job?
On a free market, again, I think on a free market system, the market will determine what wage to give somebody, right? Like, so... Again, if the company is like, I think there's ton of abuse and like companies are hiring these like H-1Bs and like it's they're taking complete advantage of this. I feel like there's probably some that happens, but I feel across most. I think, like, if Meta is hiring an employee, bro, like, I feel like they're trying to hire the best of the best. They're not trying to hire... Like,
they want to hire the best in the world. Yeah.
Like, they're not trying to be like, like, I could say, like, $10,000, like... No, dude, like, I feel like the guys are going to go work at Amazon. Like, it's your loss. Like, I feel like that's what they... Like, because I feel like the talent at the top, it doesn't matter. And I think the talent in the medium, like, in the medium range, I feel like... You'll probably have an advantage if you are, if you're, let's say, a capable person that speaks English. You probably have an advantage at getting a job in that middle tier. You know, because I feel like it's more communication, things like that. At the higher level, obviously, skills will like
be much higher.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, but like you're working, medium, right? Like interpersonal relationship and shit like that. Like, you're not gonna like. I feel like companies are not gonna make I'm going to save $10,000 because I'm hiring this, H-1B person. Like, I feel like they're not really. I don't think
they're not doing it to save money. No, because there's a lot of money they have to spend just for the H-1B1.
Regardless,
visa,
it's not. Regardless of that, like I feel like companies are not like really like nickel and diming on that kind of shit because like they're like more worried about like output.
They want
the
best.
They want to hire the right people because I don't want to go back and rehire this shit because that's too much work. It costs money. Like like there's a huge cost of like. If you don't hire the right person, like...
Yeah. Given there may be, like, a weird relationship because of it, because now the person, like, is reliant on that company and that H-1B1 visa from that company, that it may make it hard for them to kind of pivot somewhere else or kind of get those other opportunities elsewhere. That being said, going back to your point, I think it's helpful for everybody. It's like, to your point, they're hiring the best and the greatest, which means... The best and the greatest are here working with us, kind of, and sharing their ideas with our teams and things like that, which are then having ripple effects across other companies that they go to and things like that, right? It's like, if you have the smartest minds in the room working together, it's like they share those wisdom.
I also think like the guy, the NVIDIA guy.
Yeah.
Is he born here?
Yeah.
He was born here?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know I think he's the one that said something about like H-1B or something like that. A while back, like he has been pretty vocal about like
he was supportive of it.
Right. Even guys like Elon Musk and stuff. I feel like, and even Trump. I think he went on like CNN recently and said, "Hey, like we just
H1B. Yeah, maybe we went too far. Yeah.
I feel like there's a talent shortage at the top, right? Because if you okay, let's go back and like look at this. Right, we had this whole AI war that happened. Right, companies going out and hiring these AI talents right and left. Most of these AI talents, they weren't white. These guys were like, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Like, I think China is like at least I feel like it's, and I think it goes back to like education and stuff like that, right? But I think there's a psyop going on in the United States of like China, right? Like what they're trying to do is like put out all this like hateful fucking campaign on both the right and the left, so just get us fucking riled up and just kill us from the inside in 50 years.
Like. China's doing that against us, or do you think
no,
like
yeah. Like the thing about like long-term like psyop type of like shit, right? Like how do you destroy a country long-term, right? Through changing
division.
Of like division, but it's it's a long term, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you gotta really, like, start, like, with, like, grassroots fucking hate, and then, like, really create division. But I feel like it's like, dude, like, I think, like, in a essence, like, a global sense, like, I feel like we need to compete with, like, China.
Sure.
To ultimately to you know, like, whatever, if there's some level of winning or not winning or whatever, like, I think it's more
to remain dominant in the
survival,
world. Sure. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, we just gotta, like, take, you know, as much talent from, like, you know, like, wherever there's talent, like, what the fuck?
And I mean, there's also like the second, like, a lot of things are technology, right? Technology based, and there's a security aspect of it, of like them not wanting people to take it back to whatever country and reverse engineering it, and
Dude, did you
and
know
then having it, you know. But at the same time, technology kind of also has this ethos of just kind of like, it's science. It's meant to kind of be shared so it can move even faster, kind of thing, you know. So it's like, I don't know. It's something that kind of doesn't have borders or boundaries yet. Security requires kind of borders and boundaries, you know. It's like something as easy as having like a faster internet could be a security threat. If I'm able to transfer data faster than you, that means I could share information faster than you.
What do you think, like, do you think ever in the future, right, like everybody in this planet would be, like, unified under a single idea? Do you think you can get every single person in this world to agree on a fucking idea?
No. Huh? I think the only way that would happen would be like an alien invasion, where it's it's kind of like,
do you think like you can't even get everybody in this planet to agree that the Earth is round?
Sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we are so.
They'll never be 100%. They'll never ever be 100%. But like, the majority, let's say 80% of the world, you could get to say.
No, you don't think there's a single subject that you can have full agreement on completely?
I think like some of the stuff that we talked about the other day of like, do you think murder is wrong?
No, people argue that. That's not even like, I'm not even trying to have that argument. People argue that. Dude, we're gonna go there because.
The argument is always like, what is right and wrong. But I think if you just objectively say, do you think murder is?
That question was like, I think more towards, I was asking that question in terms of like, trying to see if, because here's the thing. Here's the question I said. Taking context out, because that's very important. Taking context out, is killing another person bad? Taking context out, right? And all I'm looking for is how someone answers this question. I'm not looking for what their answer is. I am just looking for how you answer this question, because if you say anything else than killing is bad, I'm going to judge you, because I prefaced the question by saying, take context out.
My answer was, I am capable of killing.
No, take the answer, take the context out, and I am asking you a simple question, right? And if you are questioning something right off the base, it's like, bro, like, you were not somebody that like you're just gonna just ask just like questions to ask questions to have no more. To get nowhere.
They're trying to justify their answer.
No, but like then
searching for justification.
Then you have answered what kind of person you are. Like,
you're in search of justification. Yeah.
The answer does not require justification. I'm just trying to check your morality. There's no context. It's a simple like, yes, it's bad. No, okay, you're trying to justify it's not bad. Okay, I get it. It's cool. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Oh, dude.
I don't know, man.
Do you see? So here's the thing. Like, I don't want to go too far off this. I have this like page where I just post a bunch of like random shit, AI generated content on like TikTok and shit, like just dumb stuff. And
Jonathan Fuentes, you ever heard of him?
No, just like not of me. It's completely AI generated. Like, you guys probably have seen a bunch of shit on the internet. It's like a few of the funny ones I did was like Gandhi running down in the WWE like ring, and he's like in one of those matches. You don't see this. You're not on TikTok anymore, so like you're not on it. But or like Einstein on a UFC ring, like there's a bunch of dumb shit like with like AI.
Yeah.
Anyways, I did a couple of them where it was like a rabbi and something, and of all the ones I do, I'm pretty broad on the spectrum of things I've done, and I got hit with community guideline violations only on 2 videos. The earthquake?
No.
I only got hit with violation on 2 videos, and it was 2 videos were in violation for, I guess they didn't like it, dude. It was like...
What were the videos about?
It was...
oh, shit.
I don't know. They deleted the video, so I don't know. It was like it's a funny AI video, bro. Like, it wasn't like...
Well, you said there's a rabbi.
There was a rabbi, but there was also a priest. But the video had but I think that's what it was. It had a rabbi, and they were like...
It's anti-Semitic.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's like crazy.
You can't have an AI rabbi.
Yeah, or like one of them was like finding like a money, like something related to like money, like Jews and like that stuff.
It could be seen as anti-Semitic.
Yeah, but like again, it's
anti. I don't know.
It's like it's any of those other content could have been taken as like. Not like why like I feel like it was purposeful, and I feel like I'm not the only one that has gone and said that. Like a bunch of people in TikTok are like hey, anytime you say anything regarding that, it's like it gets taken down. It's automatically flagged. Can't even talk about it. It's automatically flagged.
Well, I think people are very like polarized, to say the least, and I think
so. If you go on like you're not on TikTok or you don't have it.
I do have TikTok. Bibhor and Oskar podcast fans.
So one of the things is like nowadays what people do is just put the juice box emoji.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's how you say it, I guess. But again, I don't want to get into the politics of this shit. But here we are, Iran, dude.
Freaking Irene.
What do you think of like this?
Dude, we're about to have another war in Iran. Is apparently what's going to happen.
What is the
protest? You see that they cut off the internet and they shot a bunch of people?
I didn't see any of that, but I heard about it.
Oh yeah, there's no. I don't think there's. Yeah. Well, there's some people. There's videos of like 2 guys with shotguns like shooting into the. But I don't know what they're shooting. You just see the guys. You don't see anybody.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I feel like this is the type of thing where like if you say anything, you're like pissing somebody off in this type of situation, right? I think it goes back to the same thing. I think the guy is absolutely a horrible fucking person. Like the Ayatollah, like the whole the military, the IRGC or whatever they're called.
Yeah,
I think that's a horrible fucking military regime. Like I think. But again, bro, like, that's not our problem. Like,
simultaneously,
you know what I'm saying? It's not our problem. Like. And it's again.
It isn't, but like
it's another thing to get dragged into.
If we look at the Middle East and everything that's happened there, all roads have led to Iran being the country where a lot of these things are fueled from. It's like that's their fallback, their safe back. It kind of stems out of there, right? So in a sense, like I don't know, it feels very much like they had an issue like Maduro. For so many years, like we just kind of like dealt with it in different ways instead of just kind of nip it in the bud. And this feels like an opportunity of where they're creating problems to just nip it in the bud.
Okay, so what do you like? So let's just say like
theoretically,
they just say, you know what, like we're gonna take this guy out. Like that's the plan. They take him out. Let's just say they take him out.
Yeah.
And then the question becomes, now what? Now you're sitting on the largest oil mine.
Well, it's not the largest oil.
Sure. It's one of the largest oil fucking reserves in the world. No.
Venezuela's number 1. Saudi Arabia's.
They're not that far off, dude.
Let's look at that.
Iran's electricity cost is so low that they can mine Bitcoin for like $2,000, dude. Like, stop.
Let's find out. They're number 4, but Canada is above them.
Yeah.
And then Iraq, and we know what happened to Iraq.
So here's the thing. here's my thought, right? Like, so there's definitely vested interest in this process, right?
Yeah.
But also, like, we just went and, like, there's some geopolitical ramification on this. We just went and, like, did that thing with Venezuela, right?
Yeah.
Venezuela, I think China was importing, like a third of their oil from Venezuela?
China?
Is that what? Look it up. How much of Chinese oil came from Venezuela? Okay, 4 to 5%. And then how much does it come from, like, Iran? All right, so now we're looking at 25%.
Yeah.
So, like, think about, like someone that's that fast growing as China. They don't want that, dude. This is another, like, thing that's going to lead to this long conflict. Like, China will do whatever it can not to have, like, a supporting state in that region that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's not in their best interest
for China to have the U.S. there,
or a U.S. backed government set up in
Iran,
right? Like,
well, obviously not. I mean, because if they're being aggressive with, like, Venezuela and the oil, and they're being kind of cut off, also they're forcing Mexico to increase tariffs against China.
So this is the type of behavior that leads to them be like, "Oh, fucking take over Taiwan, dude," because I'm gonna put the heat on you with this semiconductors. You want to do the oil business? You know what I mean? Like, but again, this is the type of shit I don't want to get dragged into.
Correct, you're right. It's right now, all these things are nipping in the bud, but the ultimate end point is going to be that question.
Do you know why Japan attacked the United States in World War II?
Why?
Because the United States put embargoes in Japan's oil. They basically, so FDR said, we're not gonna let Japan have any oil, and they didn't have a choice. So they're like, we're going to take out the Navy of the United States, right? Dude, taking out 20% supply, what would that do if overnight 25% of your fucking oil was taken out?
That's a big problem.
That's a big problem, dude.
For such a big country? Yeah.
Right. Like,
yeah. Who supplies the majority?
They don't get it from one country.
I know, but who's
Russia,
the main? Who supplies?
Russia, dude.
Well,
Saudi Arabia and Russia, probably.
Russia.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense because, like, they're right there.
Sure. And then Saudi Arabia. And then Iraq. Well, still Iraq. Malaysia and Oman. And then Iran. Malaysia? Interesting. And Oman.
I feel like if you are, like, a oceanic country, like, that's, like, this island, kind of, I feel like you have a lot of, like a open water border, you know?
Dude, that's a big conflict.
Oil is, you know, like oil's offshore drilling.
But that's where a lot of the conflict is, because China is, like, expanding their nautical border and everything like that. The Philippines, Vietnam, all these places are like, dude, what the
floating cities, right? That's what they're calling it.
Yeah, it's crazy. No, but I mean, I guess I don't know. Does it make sense strategically to take that over?
Dude, it's just another type of shit. I feel like there's bigger problems here, dude. Here's a problem.
But like, see here you're killing two birds with one stone. Like, I mean, with Iran, you're solving the problem with Israel and everything like that of having all the people who help cause conflict there, right? You're causing the conflict that we've had with weapons of mass destruction, blah 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 blah.
Stop.
And
stop, dude.
That's the blah blah blah. But we could check that box. Dude. But like what you say, it's a huge amount of oil as well that is now open to.
Because once you take somebody out,
the cherry on top is we're introducing democracy into a place that
all the places we have introduced democracy to.
It hasn't really worked. Well, I'm just saying, dude. It's like, if we're selling this on paper, I'm not saying that, like, you know, I'm.
The only countries, there's two countries where we have spread democracy, and it has worked.
Where?
There's only two countries.
Tell me where.
Think about this. Can you name me two countries where we have spread our democracy? And they are fucking flying high, dude.
Well, Syria is arguably doing pretty good.
No,
right
no,
now.
stop. We laid the smackdown
We
on Japan and Germany, and they are the thriving economy, dude. They're doing it now, like. But you know what I'm saying? Like, but outside of those two countries, maybe no, we lost in Vietnam. South Korea, like I guess.
But that wasn't in the name of democracy, you know what I mean? That
South
was in the
Korea-
name, like, Japan was like, that was in the name of...
No,
like,
that was in democracy.
no,
Democracy,
dude.
dude. That was
No,
the
no,
biggest democracy, dude.
Bro, it's because they bombed us. They woke up a giant. You think you're going to, like, we're not going to let someone punch us and then not do anything back? You
I
know what
think
mean? It's
here's
like,
the thing. I don't think
period.
it works when
Sorry.
you go like you bring democracy and then like you run an unfair election. But here's a problem with this kind of shit too. Like goes back to the same thing. Like the people that are not ready for democracy will just go back into like this archaic system. And it happened in Afghanistan, right? Like we were there for 20 fucking years, and like as soon as we left, like you know, they just went back to their old ways. Like,
Well, yeah.
but I think that takes a long time. That's a no one is there building fucking education and infrastructure to teach people to like think for themselves and like question fucking things and saying like, you know, like not teaching, you know, women is, you know, bad. Collect, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You gotta
Yeah,
like
yeah,
bring it's not even like, I think if you anyone that like tries to combat like I want to ban books and I want to not have people, you know, not have them, you know, learn. We lost. You gotta go, dude. You are hurting the net of society. Get the fuck out of here. Anyone that is like against teaching people to learn, get the fuck out of here. Like what?
Do you
That's negative. That's anti. Dude. That's the biggest anti thing you could say. Like,
do you believe though that like there becomes a point where it's like I don't know. I think of it like kind of like religion, right? As
I don't want to have that
like,
conversation.
but like as people become smarter, they kind of start going against the system, quote
I think
unquote.
that's very.
You know what I mean?
That's
It's
happened.
like,
I think that's happening a lot. I think that's happened if you start to see. And I don't want to say like this is the type of shit I'm like.
it happened in the Enlightenment. It's happened in several stages in history. You know, where it's like again, history, religion.
As people get smarter, I think people start to question like
what they've been told.
Start to question what they've been told, and unless your faith is so strong, you are not going to be able to rationalize like what it is, right? Again, science does not have the answer. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to get on the topic of religion or science, but like I'm using like the Enlightenment as an example, right? Because they question religion for the first time, kind of thing, right? It's like, you know, science became like a literal thing. And now we're at a new point in life, you know, a few hundred years later, of just like the internet and AI and all these things. Like, do you think there's a point where you like, maybe it's not religion anymore, but now it's governments, right? Where it's like, we're so smart that now we almost feel like, what's the point of having these politicians and these guys and all these people who have just been feeding us full of what?
I think
you know? Like,
what is going to happen, and I kind of like, if you ever watch any of these futuristic movies,
like which one?
Any futuristic movie, think of any futuristic movie, any futuristic show,
futuristic song.
It is never like a singular god, right? It's never a single. It's always like this consciousness that exists, like that is like the beholder, or like this thing, right?
Yeah.
And for the most part, I think the idea, people have moved past that idea, right? Like, I think collectively society has moved past. Because like, here's the thing, right? I think if an alien shows up tomorrow, you're gonna be really questioning your fucking belief of a god, right?
Yeah.
Right, like, because that's a valid question, right? Like, if tomorrow we wake up and there's, you know, like there's a giant spaceship and, you know, like big aliens or little aliens, I don't know, like they come, you know, we don't want to discriminate on size, but they come here.
Well, I'm a big alien, okay?
And I think people will start to question, like, oh shit, like, you know, like what, like. We'd have to, right? Like, we would be like, hey, like, okay, like, everything I have learned so far, like, is different now because there's some... And again, these aliens could be robots. Yeah. We are so ill to believe right now that, like, oh, like, these things have to be made out of carbon, like we are, No, like there's hundreds of different elements that exist throughout the universe, and like these things could be made out of like copper, like whatever. Like we don't know. But again, the point is like it would really fuck up your perception of like, hey, like, questioning. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna be like, hey, like what? Like there's beings that are just flying, coming down from space, like from what? Like this far place. Their technology.
I don't think that's that far out because like if you believe in like other planets, then you have to have the potential thought that life can exist on those other planets, and that can coexist with the belief of God.
That's not true. That's not, okay. Okay, I'm gonna step back. Right, for life to exist, because I don't know. Because again, is there an alien? 100%. If someone says I will not stake my life and say there's aliens 100%, or someone in the universe, the known hasn't seen an alien, right? I cannot say that. I don't know. Is there a possibility? Yes. But there's also a possibility that like there's absolutely fucking nothing. And we exist simply because of so many different variables aligning at the exact same time.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Like, so many things have to align perfectly for us to exist, and it aligned once in this entire universe. Right? Could that not be true?
Yeah, but I think the probability is just the same for the opposite side.
Right. Like so that's what I'm saying. So like I don't know. Like I don't know.
There's no yes or no. Yeah.
Right,
until that day comes where we find out there's life somewhere else. Yeah. But
and so far, like it's all like hearsay. You know what I'm saying? Like no one's like definitive about anything.
No.
Like these.
Even on Mars, I mean, they think they saw like maybe a little bit of water, frozen water, but it's precipitation. I mean, that could be caused by different things, such as hydrogen and
or the idea that like H2O. These beings in other planets, if they exist, have reached the capabilities that we have. Well, like, what if we were the first ones
to explore?
And we have like we're literally the most advanced thing in the universe is us, and that's it, right? Like everything before, everything like is behind us still. You know, why is that also not a possibility? Like the Big Bang happened, right? Let's say for the first 4 billion years until the Earth was created or something, nothing. Like, well, let's say life was created here on Earth first, across the entire universe. And let's just say there is life. Those guys are just like so far behind, like hundreds of.
They're just starting out.
Yeah, they're a billion years behind. Right? That's a total possibility. And then we're all the aliens that we're thinking about. It's us. Like we're the ones going in their planet. Like why can't that be the like that's a possibility, right?
100%. Like, just as much as like the possibility of it. We're just another sun that exploded. Out of the million other suns that exist that are in different stages.
But we just happen to mature faster than everybody.
No, we are just another one that in a big ecosystem that already existed that's been there forever.
You have to think about like even like think about this, right? Like let's say like there's hundreds of billions of suns, right?
Yeah.
And all of these suns exploded at the same time. But
they didn't.
No, but let's just for this argument, they all exploded at the same time. But because of where we were, the exposure to the sun, the climate and stuff, it allowed us to grow 200 years fast, 200,000 years before everybody else. We just happened to just be on our game 200,000 years before everybody. That could totally mean that like we're just like we are going to be the ones that are going to be exploring. You know what I mean? Like these guys that are 200 years behind us. Think of it in the next 200 years, we're going to be going up in space and shit, and we're going to be like fucking up with these people that are like 200 years behind us.
I guess my question, like, because
200,000 years.
You've seen the movie Interstellar, right?
No.
You've never seen Interstellar?
Who's it with?
With
Chris Pratt,
Matthew McConaughey, and
Interstellar. Or what is the movie called?
Interstellar.
I saw Mars recently.
No, Interstellar.
No, I've never seen it.
Dude, you got to watch Interstellar. Pretty good.
With Matthew McConaughey?
Matthew McConaughey Yeah, he's the main actor, actually. Yeah. It's a really good movie. But there's a part where who's else in it? The girl from The Devil Wears Prada.
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. Yep, those two. But there's a part where they go to one planet and like time moves very slow, right? It's like it's minutes there, or years, back on the thing. So what if? So like I'm showing you an image of where we are in the Milky Way galaxy, right? We're like on one of the middle rings, I guess. But in this theory, because the planets move quicker, closer to the center of it, do you think time moves faster there? Because the farther away you get, time is relatively goes slower. Would they not be on a faster timeline in that theory?
Shut the fuck up, dude. You're just like getting me confused.
I'm just thinking out
You're
loud.
not like just stop. You have failed to explain this properly.
Whoa, bro.
What? Is time moving faster? I feel like time
is relative.
Is relative, yeah, is to where you are
in the galaxy.
In space and how fast you're traveling, right? I think at least this is how I understand it. The closer that you travel to the speed of light, the slower the time moves. Does that make sense? So, in that theory, the universe is always expanding, and the universe is expanding at the speed of light, right? So the closer you move to the edge of the universe, the slower you are moving because time is slowed down because you're traveling so fast. Does that make sense? So think about it. Time and light, right? Because light speed. So the quicker you get to the speed of light, the slower things move. And that's kind of like what it is. So whatever the perspective that you're showing me, let's say you're in the center, right? And you're moving outwards. The more outwards that you go, I assume you're going faster and faster, the slower time becomes.
That's what I'm saying. Like the more outer rings would be on a slower timeline, technically.
Not on a slower timeline. It's not a timeline. You are moving so fast that time has gone slower. The universe is always expanding. So think about it. As the universe expands, the universe is expanding at the speed of light.
Yeah.
Right? As you get closer and closer to the edge of the universe, time is becoming slower and slower. Because now think about this. Open up the entire universe.
Yeah.
Open up the map of the entire universe, not just the Milky Way. Because the Milky Way, it's so small. I feel like that's the...
Well, that's what I was trying to say to the argument of like life somewhere else. If we're just in the Milky Way and just in the arm, then like how can there not be life anywhere else in the universe? You know what I mean?
Because so many things have to go right. But again, I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
Each point on this page is a real galaxy. Check that out.
So think of it like this, right? Think like this. It all started with a bang. Right? There was this big explosion that happened. Right? At the center of that explosion, right? And from that point forward till now, it's been 15 billion years, right? What if we were relatively, Earth was founded 4 billion years after the Big Bang, I think, or the Milky Way was founded. Like there's a time frame when the Milky Way was founded, right? What if that's still in its early stages? What if we were just the first fucking people? Like the explosion happened. The universe was created. The Milky Way was created. The solar system was created. The sun was created. The Earth was created, and then we were created. Like through various change of things that happened, right? And we were the first one to be created. Like, why can't that be the fucking argument? What? And everything before that, it just wasn't created, dog. It's just after this is But again, to say nothing. There is a possibility here, right? It just hasn't been created yet. Or those things could be so far behind. Because you have to understand, if this is where the Big Bang happened, we were probably like, is this time? Okay, so yeah, so Earth was created like right around here, right? This is pretty early, dude. You know?
But then what about all this?
Yeah, but like,
You're saying out of all this was not.
but again, if there was if things were created in that time frame, then we eventually will see those people come out. We just haven't yet. They haven't developed that far yet, I guess, either. You know. But it is not like wrong to say that, like, you know, maybe we were the fucking, you know.
You said 4 billion years ago.
About, yeah. I think I could totally be fucking wrong. Actually, ask. Like, I don't want to be a fucking dumbass and someone corrects me on my like the comments.
How old is?
How old is the Milky Way?
13.
Oh, so we were right there, dude. We fucking bam, dude. Day one, dude. We were out there in day one. Our Earth. Ask Earth.
No.
Ask the Earth, dude.
Hold on. Well, yeah, it actually doesn't go that far. 12.5 billion. This one says that only.
No. It doesn't go that far because that's how far light has traveled. So each day, more of the observable universe is being seen because light is traveling out there. At the edge of the universe is where time exists, right? And the light is getting closer and closer to time. And each day, you're going to see more and more of what's behind has already happened. Because, like, if you're seeing something in the stars, like, let's say, like, now, it's already passed hundreds, like, whatever that's, so, that's a mindfuck conversation.
It is. You try to like, dude. What a trip, though. If you really
Even the concept, like, when you think about it, right, like, if you look at the universe, right, like, what they're saying is, like, think about, like, pull up a map, like, or not a map, like Einstein is saying, like, you can, like, make a hole, like a black hole, that sucks the universe inwards, and then you travel from here to here in an instant. Time travel.
Like it touches the same point.
No, if you create a black hole, right, a black hole sucks everything inwards. So you're stretching the fabric of time. Closer. And that's how you teleport from one place to another. That's how you use black hole to travel through time. Theory, I don't know if I can. PhD professor. You know, actually, 3 of my cousins are like PhD professors, dude.
In astrophysics.
One of them is a physicist in Florida State or something, or Florida International or something.
Oh, no shit.
Physics, yes. Crazy though, dude. Like, fucking imagine, like, just fucking mass. Your PhD in physics, like.
Dude, you gotta be pretty smart, yeah. But at the same time, I mean, physics. Like, I mean, there's a lot of.
Stop. You gotta be fucking. What are you saying? Like, what the fuck? Like, fucking need to pass calculus. You get the. Oh, it's not that hard. How hard could this be?
Dude, I did pass calculus because I didn't go to class. That's right.
Dude, how hard could this be? Like,
dude. Yeah, it's a real crazy idea once you actually kind of start. 14 billion light years, yeah.
There's more planets that exist than all the cells in every single person's body, I think. Or some crazy stat like that or something. Think about that, dude.
These are crazy images too, man, if you think about this.
Who took them? Who the fuck took them, dude?
They mapped the entire sky.
This is fake, dude. How can you take a picture from, like, that angle? You know what I'm saying? Like, who was out there?
This is from the SPHEREx image. What's SPHEREx?
It's probably it's a panoramic fucking view of the known universe.
First all sky map panorama.
Right? Yeah. Oh, okay. There you go. See, I'm not that dumb, dude. I look at shit like I already knew what it was, dude. So where's this from?
That's what I was gonna see. Like, is it in space that they took this, or was this from?
If it's in space, how far in space did it go? Like, is this in Jupiter? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, you're asking all the right questions, but I don't know. Infrared, map of the sky, 102 colors, human eye.
We haven't even been to the moon, and do you want me to believe this nonsense, dude?
Dude, it's collected in just 6 months. That's it, dude. The Astrophysics Division of NASA headquarters in Washington.
Did you know?
Circling Earth 14 and a half times a day.
Damn, that's how fast it was going?
Yeah. Travels from north to south, passing over the poles. Each day takes about 3,600 images along one circular strip of the sky.
How is it powered? Is it just like spinning on like the Earth's gravity, on the centripetal force and stuff?
I imagine so. Managed by NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Southern California. The mission began mapping the sky.
Who pays for this?
We do, as American taxpayers.
And what's the benefit of this stuff?
Dude, you don't want to know what the sky looks like?
Honestly, like, only thing I really care too much about is...
There's infrared.
Like...
That's pretty cool. Look
if
at it
there's
change
an
colors.
object hurling towards us, you know?
There's been a lot of objects coming our way.
No, I'm saying, like, if it's imminent threat. You know what someone said to me? Like, oh, not someone said. I was listening to one of these things, and it said, it is, like, if it's big enough, we'll see it far away. And if it's small enough, then it's not going to do any damage. And if it's big enough we can see it far away, then we can, like, do something to not destroy the meteor, but change its trajectory. Even, like, a degree. Just avoid Earth.
Like send a nuclear missile?
Or, I don't know how they would do it.
With a group of miners?
No, isn't that a movie?
And they got to leave one guy behind.
Who did they
As
leave?
Aerosmith plays in the background.
Did they leave back Bruce Willis, dude?
Dude, they left Bruce Willis.
Is that him? Who did
Yeah,
they leave back?
yeah.
Oh, dude.
But so Ben Affleck could be with his daughter.
Damn.
Yeah. Aerosmith playing in the background. I just want to close my eyes.
I think I saw that movie.
It's a good movie. Armageddon, dude. It's a classic, dude.
I think I actually had a DVD.
I had it on VHS,
Do you
dog.
know, like, what is crazy is, like, people nowadays won't know about DVDs.
People don't know about
CDs,
VHS.
cassette players, like, you know what I'm saying? We lived in different times.
You remember how you had like a notebook of all your CDs and all the music?
Oh, dude, I used to have, like, thing in my car.
Yeah.
You know, because cars, believe it or not, used to take in, like, CD players.
Yeah.
You bump the CD player, dude. Oh, people just don't know, dude. Like, shit.
The good old days, man. Actually, no, it's a lot easier nowadays to have everything in
It's
your
all streamed,
pocket.
dude.
Yeah.
I think, like...
You own nothing.
It's like... I think when... Like, so, like, people, like, will make a... What is the greatest... Like, top 5 greatest inventions of all time? And, like, what... Like...
According to who?
According to motherfucking, like... I see, like... All this shit, like... You know what I'm saying? Like...
Says number 1 is the wheel.
See, I don't
Revolutionized transportation, pottery, machinery, forming a basis, countless subsequent mechanical inventions.
I feel like you're getting a lot of clout because that thing was like 3,500 years ago. Like, I feel like you're giving it a lot of like value because it was like discovered so far back.
Dude, what will you do without the wheel, though? It's a fundamental piece to a lot of things.
No, I mean, I get it. Like, I think the wheel is very valuable, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, number 2 is the printing press.
I think the internet has been far more crucial than the printing press in transferring information.
Well, I mean, before the internet...
No, again, like I said, I agree with that, but I will not put the fucking printing press ahead of the internet because of being time bias. You know what I'm saying?
I think this might be. I think this might be based on time because it looks like it is following an order of timeline.
Some sort of
yeah. So light bulb is number 3, which is 1879.
I don't believe that either. Hey, go on ChatGPT.
Penicillin.
Go on ChatGPT. Penicillin's probably up there, dude. Like, I feel like those are underlooked fucking things. All right, chat. No bias. Like, no bias, dude. What is the top 5 greatest invention of all time, dude?
Here's a neutral cross civilization.
That's
number 1 is
facts.
writing.
Facts.
Writing. Well, you just went the wheel. You're upset about.
It's not.
I don't even know how to write. To use the wheel to transport my mule and all my stuff.
No. Writing, dude. Stop.
Dude, what good is my
stop?
what good is my writing if I can't get someone to take this all the way to?
Dude, if you cannot write, you can't make a wheel, dude. Stop. You're not there yet.
I just gotta draw.
You have to be able to write to make a wheel, dude. So, but I know. Okay, the writing.
Agriculture is number 2.
That's also true.
Domestication of plants.
I think that's underlooked, right? I think agriculture is like so underlooked. Think about it. We effectively went from like
hoarders, hunters and gatherers.
Just from hunters and gatherers to every day thinking about what we're gonna eat tomorrow.
Sure, yeah.
Right.
Following
until you can break that curse of like not having to worry about your food for tomorrow. You can't think about anything else. You can't think about I'm gonna go procreate and do something else, right? Like that's not your thought is what I'm gonna eat tomorrow, and then, boom, dude. Some guy said, "Let's just grow shit." Yeah. Like he's like, "What
if we just stayed here?"
Yeah, we just stayed as a grow right here, guys. Yeah. We'll get the meat.
What if we just bred those dogs? I mean, not the dogs, but the sheep, the cows, and we just.
But that's a revolutionary idea. Some guy was like,
"I guess we could do that, huh?"
No. He was like, "Hey, like, we gotta get a male one and a female one. Like, see if something happens."
Yeah.
Or maybe
you know what my question is. I always have a question about
they just got a bunch of them together,
and they found out that
and it just happened. And they're like, "Oh, this is what happens." I don't think they're like, "Oh, we're gonna fucking."
I always find like it weird, like the first people to like invent something kind of sometimes, like for just like milking a cow or milking a goat. You know, it's like who was the first person? Because it's not as easy as just like pulling on their.
The calf.
Sure.
They saw it.
But but it's at the same time, it's not as easy as just pulling on the tit and it comes out. You have to there's a process of like.
I think you are not looking at it correctly. I think what it was like a person saw a calf drinking it, right? And then it went there and the residue milk, it like, you know what I'm saying? And it did that. What is it?
I could drink this too.
And then it started drinking it. And that's how it happened. And he did the same thing.
But the thing about again, even that, like think about the first person who said like, "Well, I guess I could drink this cow's milk."
No, he probably did it, and then, they got energy for a couple, it's think about like you.
Think about the first time they made cheese.
Dude, that didn't happen till like the fucking 1600s.
But think about the first person who had tried the like fermented.
When do you think cheese was invented? No, fermentation was invented a long time ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but imagine the first person who like tried fermentation.
Yeah, that was
a
hunter and gatherer.
Huge risk.
It was the gatherers because they were like, hey, like we're gonna have all these crops. They're gonna go bad because of the winter.
Yeah,
we got a way to preserve this crop. And somebody was like, oh, like over the time they probably figured out, you could preserve.
Who was the first one that tried it? Like, who was the one that was before the one that was successful? You know what I mean? It's like, who's like before they're like, what if we put like salt on everything, but like they didn't do it correctly and it killed them, you know? And then the next person said, maybe I shouldn't put salt on everything. Maybe I should put some like a little bit of
I think you're not asking like the question. I think they use salt, and I might be giving.
That's a bad example. That's a bad example.
I'm giving the caveman too much credit.
It's a bad example with the salt, but
I think what it was like, let's say they ate salt, right? And they were like, okay, what does salt do? Some genius back in the caveman age was like, he ate salt. What does salt do?
I know, but it's
super dry, like, right?
I get it.
Okay, then it's like, okay, we put this in meat, make the meat dry.
I guess so.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm thinking too much into it, and they're like just super.
And I do think in the first 100 years, a lot of people died. Like, they didn't do it right.
That's what I tried to like. That I guess like that was my question of like.
Yeah.
What were the people before that who? It's like that show, like a thousand ways to die.
Go on.
Sorry. So agriculture number 2, the wheel number 3.
Okay, fucking wheel.
And then
fuck the printing press.
The printing press is number 4, and then electricity number 5.
Damn, where do you put all this? What's your list, dude?
I would probably take out
writing, you piece of shit. Writing is number 1, dude. I
guess if you're gonna have writing in here, then I would take out the printing press.
What would you replace it with?
The internet.
I do think electricity should come second.
I was actually going to throw
I
was going to throw this one out and replace it with the internet.
I think number 1, and now I'm taking it back, is probably agriculture.
Well, that created civilizations.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And once you have figured out the agriculture, because no, that's probably not true. Because like there were caveman writings on walls before they had when they were just hunters, you know.
Sure. I mean, there are more pictures, but yeah.
So. Because I feel like without an ability to communicate, you cannot effectively delegate tasks to effectively feed at scale. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have to feed 100 people and people can't communicate properly, it's kind of like, what are you gonna do? Like, there's gonna be too much chaos, like, right? And then first thing you have to do is figure out how to communicate with somebody.
Yeah, but I don't think communication, because people were able to communicate, and writing, if you think about it, was really only for like the people who had the money to learn how to write.
No.
Not many people knew how to.
When they say writing, I think they're talking about communicating with a different tribe, like you and me. Like, let's say we're part of a tribe, right? Like, and we don't. And then we go somewhere in the wilderness and we meet another tribe. Fuck, we do, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna throw rocks at them.
I guess so.
You know,
it's putting mathematics into writing, so even like the symbols and everything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what I think about all the time is like someone like who? Okay, so now you think about who do you think the greatest scientist of all time is? Or who do you think? Yeah, just one, whatever, 1, 2, whatever.
Not Mary Shelley. Who's the one that she invented like the X-ray and?
Marie Square. Marie Curie. Marie Curie. No, it's
Mary Curie.
It's Newton.
Isaac Newton.
Newton is not even fucking close. Think about it. Look at and their accomplishments. It's probably Newton, dude. Hands.
Isaac Newton.
Yeah, but look at
not because he was the smartest, but because no one else individually created more of the foundations that everyone else or everyone after him relied on.
Think about it like this, right? Like,
he invented calculus.
No, think about it like this. Like, this guy, right? An apple fell on his head. Yeah. And he said, "Oh, like what? Like, there is this force that's always coming down. Mm-hmm. Like what? Like what is this force?" And then he tried to tell people, and people are like, "Oh, like what? Like, you don't know? Like, we can't prove this." And this guy said, "Hold up.
And he proves it.
I'm gonna go invent this math. I'm gonna go invent this fucking math to prove this theory to you." He went and invented this whole fucking math so he can fucking prove this theory. Right? And he did so many things, right? And then he turned 25. Yeah. Fuck.
The only other real challenger is Albert Einstein, it says.
No, I feel like everything Einstein built is on his...
He's the one who most radically changed our understanding of reality.
I think here's the thing, right? Einstein has a lot of theories. Theory of relativity, right? Like a lot of theories that are like untested, right? Einstein made laws, you know?
You mean Newton?
Newton made laws of motion, laws of physics. He discovered like the core principle that goes behind like these different studies that Einstein could do later. You know, he's the giant. That he's like you know what I'm saying? Like, you sat on someone's shoulder, like that was the. It was on the shoulder of
Isaac Newton. Yeah, everything was like.
There would be nobody else. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you like, and I think there were like I think what it was like Newton did a lot of things that are at the surface level of physics. Right? A lot of things in motion and like mechanics and like the fundamental rules of physics, right? What Newton did was on the nuclear level, like the molecular level, like the real, like very smaller, like, you know, like
breaking an atom, splitting an atom.
Right, that kind of stuff. Like,
he wrote this book, Principia. Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy by Isaac Newton.
Damn, dude. The real G, dude.
Yeah, kind of curious. $54.
$54, dude? Nah, dude. Just go to the public library. Or just put it in ChatGPT, dude. Like, stop. Bullet points. That's how life works now. Bullet points.
You can get on Kindle for $20? Get out of town.
Who has a Kindle, dude? Is that still around? They still make that?
Hell yeah, brother. Amazon's still around.
Amazon is like one of those companies that like just, what do they do? You know what I'm saying? Fucking front man for retail. You know what I'm saying? That's what they are.
Huh? Logistics. That's what they are. A logistics company.
What are they, dude?
What other company gets you something in a day?
No one. They have.
Sometimes it's the same day.
They have figured it out, dude. They have effectively. I think they ship more than UPS and USPS. I'm saying, like,
I imagine
all these
so.
guys
Yeah. It's kind of crazy to think about it. It's like it became like they just wanted to understand sales on the internet by mastering books, but they've really turned into a logistics company more so than just like an e-commerce company.
Amazon, the retail, like the Amazon.com, right?
Yeah.
But
And then AWS too.
a
I'm
whole
even
different
forgetting
beast,
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
AWS is wild. I
They
don't know.
own like they're on like everything. You've essentially like monopolized data, you know? Or like cloud. Like your cloud infrastructure, like, you know, setting up cloud infrastructure is you. Your name comes up, you know.
It's pretty crazy.
AWS, like,
Yeah.
who else? Like Google and Azure, like the fuck.
I think it's like Red Hat was known. Yeah, but it's usually AWS or Google Cloud.
Yeah.
AWS primarily is like the major player.
The law of inertia, dude.
Law of motion and vacuum, pure mechanics.
How do you like
Real
think
world
about like
physics.
how do you like? I guess you think about it logically, right? Like an apple fell, like.
Yeah, it's like motion through
But how
fluids.
do you like think about it? How do you calculate? Think about it. Even like I'm probably dumb, but an apple fell from the sky, and you need to figure out what gravity is, right? Like, you have to then understand that it is not because of weight. You know what I'm saying? Like, something heavy or something light, they all fall. The gravity is the same for everything. Right? So he probably is out there just dropping shit, like, and seeing, like, you know, how, but they don't have stopwatches. This guy had to go and, like, what did he do?
You think they had stopwatches back then?
Bro, the 1700s. When was he born?
Oops.
1500s. There's no way he fucking had stopwatches. Get the fuck out. Electricity wasn't a thing. Like,
You don't need stopwatches for you like a
guess you
watch
know.
and you just keep time. Yeah.
yes. Did they even have a watch back then? They probably had a watch. Like,
He was born in 1643. The recorded as December 25th.
I was
That's funny.
born in. Yes, but
yes.
not like he did have a watch. Was it a stopwatch? Dude, ask if it's a stopwatch. How did he do it, dude? I want to know. How did he discover, like,
The pendulum clock.
no, I want to know how he discovered, like, what, like, so gravity is, like, the acceleration of gravity is 9.8 meters per second for all objects on Earth, right? How did he find that? Like, what did he do, dude?
That's, I guess, like, you know how, like, you talk about outliers and, like, people being born at the right time and everything like that? So it says precisely that. So Newton will go on to revolutionize physics, but truly accurate clocks only arrived after his early life and were essential for applying his laws to astronomy and navigation.
So he did it without it.
Well, no, he did it. If it wasn't for those inventions coming about when he was like a teenager and him kind of learning at that precipice, he wouldn't have been able to kind of accurately
There were probably
do
some
that
other
math.
gangsters around this time too. Like, he probably had to, like, you think it was just him? It was just like him. Like,
Who was his mentor, kind of thing?
not his mentor, but like Robert Hooke, right? Like, so Hooke was one of his, like, the Hooke's law. So that was one of his greatest competitor, I guess, was Robert Hooke.
Isaac Barrow,
Who is this guy, dude?
dude, the Lucian professor of mathematics at Cambridge. He was his teacher, mentor, and predecessor.
No, who were some other scientists around Newton's time? Okay, intellectual rivals, right? Descartes, Galileo, dude.
Galilei, dude, and then Hooke, like you say, yeah.
Fucking Galileo, dude.
Galilei. I
Like,
don't know.
imagine that. Like, imagine, like, you find out, like, the Earth is not at the center of the solar system, and you gotta just die, bro. Like, that's the fucking hill that you are gonna have to die on.
Dude,
the
it's like-
fucking truth.
You say
Think about dying
for what you
for
believe it. Yeah.
the truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like...
He could have easily just said, like, no, yeah, you're
No,
right,
you're
yeah. Fuck, I'm sorry. Yeah, we are the center of the earth. Like, we're literally going to cut your head off. Like, dude, you're right.
That is like... You know, I think there's a bunch of other people, like Copernicus. It wasn't Michelangelo around the same time.
Give or take, I think.
Yeah. I feel like these are all like Renaissance, the homies of the Renaissance, right?
Oh, it's kind of like the Enlightenment and everything like that, yeah. Voltaire and all those folks.
What do you think happened, dude? Some people, they just came out of the fucking 10th century, 11th century, and like, when did this happen? So when did the Renaissance start?
Hold on, 1630, and then when was the greatest inventions of all time made? Let's see. Hold on. No, it's not the printing press. But the printing press was more adopted by then, 200 years later. Spread of information.
Well, here's the thing. I think, here's a couple of things, right? Like, I think we're not, the top 5 greatest inventions of all time does not mean the same thing as top 5 most influential inventions of all time. Because those are two different things. Because if you say influential things, like, so the printing press at that time, I think, helped revolutionize transfer of knowledge at such a high rate, right? Like before, like the monks were the ones that held like knowledge. Like if you were the only ones that could read. You were reading the fucking Bible, right? Like that's the only thing you were reading. But then after the printing press, you were allowed to pass other knowledge, maybe blasphemous or whatever it may be. You're allowed to transfer ideas faster. I'm sure the church did not like that kind of stuff, you know. Like,
well, it started with the Bible. The first thing they printed were Bibles.
But I'm saying eventually, like ideas, like Galileo's, like this and that, like people were trying to print out stuff like that, like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you think like within that 100 years, 150 years of it being kind of created, that it kind of evolved into that what they kind of made it to be, you know, or took advantage of that new way of the
I mean,
press.
I think just from the ability of transferring of data, like transferring of knowledge, like the internet just outshines anything because of like the speed and the reach it has.
How do you think the internet is going to look in 90 years?
Dude, I think, like, here's the thing. I feel like it will never be number one simply for the fact that it relies on another invention, which is electricity. Right? Like, the internet cannot exist if there is no electricity.
Yeah.
Right? So because of that, it has, like, a huge, like, failure. Well, not failure, a huge, like, a negative point towards it.
Yeah.
But I think from what it can invent and like what it can do, other things it can help and power, it's like, holy crap, so many more things are going to come from it or have come from it now, like, right, like AI now, like you know, like, I don't say like social media, but like ability to like, you know, you know that thing that they use on like Star Trek where like they can like beam you up and shit?
Yeah.
Like
teleport you up?
Yeah.
Teleportation?
You think that'll ever happen?
Think so.
Or
maybe not in my lifetime.
Or you think that's just like they clone your ass, they off you, and then they re-clone you at the other place and they bring you back. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like you're just dying every time, and a new one is coming. Like, that's not that far. That concept is not that far because what you're doing is just deleting yourself and like.
Well, that's a whole. Now that's a different conversation about like consciousness. I think that'd be more of a mind.
You just live
for like religious folks versus seeing aliens.
Imagine like at the end, like you have a choice. Let's say in the next 100 years, like nothing 100 years, let's like 50 years, like even less maybe. There will be an ability to download your consciousness. You think to like a computer?
Yeah, I feel like people are actively working on that.
Because like I feel like a brain is just a bunch of neurosignals, right? Mm-hmm. So eventually, like a computer, it's just a super smart computer. Eventually, they're gonna fucking probably figure it out. It's not a super. It's not. Is it a quantum computer? Maybe it's 2 quantum computers
hooked up.
You know,
there's a company, I don't remember what it's called, but it's working on that where the guy was like fatally ill. I think he passed away, but essentially his goal was to upload his consciousness in the computer so his wife could continue communicating with him. And she was able to have a conversation, but like,
and then he died.
He did die, you know. But it's like, what is it actually, you know?
She started giving him shit and he turned it off.
Yeah. Like, you know, I don't want to talk to this guy anymore. I'm getting remarried, you know. He had a bunch of money. I don't know. But in any case, I think we did well. Love you guys. See you next week.